Well, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex, and today we should be fishing the River Mersey. But if you've watched the channel for a while, I'm beginning to think the A50 has got it in for me. So anyway, hopefully I'll see you back when we're all set up somewhere on the River Mersey. Oh well, what a drive that was. What a drive that was. Horrible weather. Luckily it's well, it had brightened up when I got over here, but that rain's actually just started coming down. It's that fine rain as well that soaks you through, so might have to get the covers on the camera in a minute.
Oh, I know, it's that fine rain that soaks you through, that. Oh, that wet stuff's a bitch, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, what a horrible drive. Didn't make bad time though. I'm back to a spot that I fished last winter. It's not the biggest of tides. 11:30 high. It's just gone 9 o'clock now. I was hoping to be set up and fishing for about 8:30, but yeah, it took us a little bit longer to get here than I was expecting. Admittedly, I've had a rather leisurely setup. As you can see, both rods are out. I'll run you very quickly through the tackle. As you're expecting, Akios Furies, FX420s, pen spin fishers with braid. On the end I'm fishing both rods with pulley pennel rigs. On one rod I've got crab, carp and mussels, and on the other I've got blacks and bloody squid. Seems to be the new thing at the minute. And yeah, what else is there to tell you really? Not a lot, other than I'm going to get the covers on the camera quickly before it gets absolutely drenched and ruined. Oh, big guy coming out already. So, like I think I said in the intro, for me it's a little bit early for cod still, but I've been desperate to get out fishing. I usually leave it till middle of November to go after cod. Oh, that was a bite though. That was a bite on the big crab and mussel bait. As you can probably tell, that was a fairly sizable bait, so I'll leave that for a little bit to develop. But yeah, a little bit early if you ask me to be out chasing cod, but desperate to get out fishing. Today's Friday the 13th. The last time I actually went fishing was the 15th of September, right before the Friday before we went away to Tunisia. So almost exactly a month since I've been out fishing. Some of you picked up that last week's video from Chesil, it was rather hot, rather sunny. That's because that was from the archives. It was a video I wasn't going to put out because it turned into a bit more of a family day out than it did a fishing trip, but thanks for all your kind comments on that. The tides aren't in our favour. To be honest, the tides were probably better to fish the east coast, but the weed is still an absolute nightmare over on the east coast. And yeah, that brings us to the Mersey. I know there's plenty of whiting about, so hopefully the cod will start to show soon. It's one of those gambles when you've got this, when you're early on in the season. That's a fish, that's a bite. Might just dislodge the lead though, I think. Let's give it another minute, shall we? Well, here's me sitting here saying, oh, it's too early to be going after cod. That's 2 knocks in the space of, I bet we've not been fishing 10 minutes. Literally just fishing long enough to get the baits in the water, set the camera up and sit my fat ass down and chill out. Oh. The problem that I've got is this is a 7-ounce lead on the end of here, so it's easy to get excited. You see a 7-ounce lead start to bob about. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not a bad start. Whiting, not my favourite fish to catch. Well, I tell a lie. To be honest, they're probably my favourite fish to eat of all the UK fish anyway. I think they taste a lot better than cod. This one's a little bit small to be keeping, and look how easy that hook's just come out. It's literally the top circle hook's just fallen out of its jaw. But look at the gnashers on that. I don't know if this camera will focus on that. Look at the gnashers. Anyway, we're off the mark. We are off the mark. Tiny little whiting, but it's a blank saved. We're not blanking. Let's got a bit more distance on it, shall we? We'll see if we can anyway. So, no power caster, but these power tips, these Achios Furies, you can really put a bend in them, and for a simple overhead lob they're pretty good. Some right vicious little gnashers on them, whiting. Look at that, it could be a taupe, you know. Maybe I've got it wrong, maybe it's a taupe. Look at the bloody bucket on that. That's ridiculous. Well, this drizzle's nothing but persistent. Wipe the lens actually. Sun's just starting to break its way through the clouds. Visibility's certainly a lot better. And that almost looked like another bite then. I'm gonna have to turn the camera on more often, I think. So far just a few whiting. I haven't shown them all. I'm sure you've all seen whiting before, especially if you fish over this way. Oh, that is a bite, that is definitely a bite. That's on another, this time it's a squid and cart rat. Definitely a whiting bite though, that. Hence why I'm not jumping up and down and getting all excited and stuff. Anyway, how you all doing? I hope you're keeping alright. Just going to come out and say it, I haven't been. My head's been a shed just recently. And I don't say that just to get comments or sympathy. I'm not interested in any of that, but I can't sit here and bang on about mental health in the videos and looking after yourselves and then not be open and honest about me. It's nothing serious, it's just that dripping tap. It's just drip, 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 and it's got to me a bit. Hence why I haven't been out fishing for a month. I really wanted to get out fishing last week. Like I say, last week's video was some old footage from Chesil. I was desperate to get out fishing last week. Desperate to get out fishing, but you know what? I couldn't bring myself to do it. The tides were right, the weather was lovely, everything was spot on when it come to putting the stuff in the van, and the thought of a 2.5–3 hour drive out to where I wanted to fish, just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I'm coming out the other side now. I feel like I'm on a bounce. Like I said to you before, I looked at the things that I can control. I've been to the gym this week and I'm back out fishing, so I already feel better. Like I say, this morning's been really slow, calm, steady. The intent of today was purely just to get out. We've already got some fish on the bank, so we're not blanking. It's not been a wasted trip. But like I say, I hope you're all doing well. If not, talk to folk. Like I say, Sarah knows where my head's at. But yeah, talk to people, let them know what's going on. 9 times out of 10 you'll find that either they've been through something similar or going through something similar, and you can help each other out. Like I say, I'm not saying this for sympathy or any of that sort of stuff. All I'm saying is, look after yourselves, be mindful when your head's not in the right place, and talk to each other, look after each other. And I thought there's no better time really to say this sort of stuff than as we're coming into winter. Nights are getting darker, you know, Christmas is just around the corner, people are thinking of spending stupid amounts of money on presents. For me, it's always been about who's around the tree, not what's under it. Look after yourselves, talk to each other, look after each other, and if you can, get out fishing. And now I've waffled on for all that time. What's the bet and I haven't turned the camera on, eh? Nah, we're good, we're good. Well, them whiting will not leave the squid alone, so I've done. Took a couple of frozen blacks, 4 or 5 mussels, stuck them on my bait mate tool. I'm going to elasticate them up, just like that. So they're rigged up, they look like that. And as you can see, you've got 2 very clear hook points. What is going on with this camera today? Oh dear, I don't know what it wants to do. Looks like that. And that will also be a very effective cod bait. See if the whiting like it though, that's the question. The rain's died down a little bit. It's quite calm now. So hopefully you can see from the angles of the line. This left-hand rod, I'm pointing here, left-hand rod. I've got this probably, well, it enters the water here, no more than 40 yards out maybe. I literally sort of underarmed that and in. So like I say, it's still deep water here. And then right hand rod I've got out at distance, and I've put that, it's not far off high water now, so I've put that up that way towards the entrance of the river at distance, because like I say, I'm just preempting that tide to start turning in the next sort of 20 minutes or so. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet. A few whiting first off, and then I changed to bigger baits, try and put them off a little bit, and you still see the rattles. Hooks are coming back unpicked. Weed's been a bit of a nightmare, but that's calmed down a little bit now. It's coming, now that the tide's starting to slacken a bit. Overall, it's just your average autumn fishing trip so far. Come on, fishy. Yeah, fishy, 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 fishy. Well, the weed was a pain in the arse. The crabs were a pain in the arse. The rain was a pain in the arse. The tide became a pain in the arse. But my God, it feels good to be back out fishing. Not the best of sessions, but like I said at the start of the video, I wasn't expecting big things. But yeah, it feels good to get a line where it gets some fish on the deck. Like I say, half a dozen or so whiting today. And there is no doubt in my mind, if I'd have switched to smaller hooks, like a 2-hook flapper or something like that, you could have had them every cast, 2-3 fish a time. But it's not what we're after today. Well, yeah, oh, it feels good to be out. So yeah, not the best session, but a session nonetheless. In fact, I tell you what, I'm out. I'm already out, and I'm already damp. I may as well go out, ain't I?
You've ended up out. You may as well come out.
I mean, if you guys have got nothing better to do, I haven't. Let's go and get some food, because I'm hungry. Ring round and see. I've got some mussels left. I've got some carp wings left. Let's... Low water's going to be, what, about 5:30? It's just gone 1 o'clock. I've got two options. I've got Perch Rock, New Brighton, which I've fished already a couple of times this year. Or there's Mostyn. I don't think Mostyn's far away either. It's a little bit late in the year for Mostyn, I think. But having said that, it's still been warm. It was 20 odd degrees this week. I'm leaning towards Mostyn. We're going to be fishing into the dark as well, aren't we? 5:30, so probably fish till at either venue 7. So it should be getting dark by then. I think we've got a chance of fish at either spot. Let me know in the comments which one would you go for. I'm going to go and get some food, ring around a couple of bait shops and see where we end up. Yeah, let's do that. The day's not over yet, let's go and find some fish. Whoa. Shit, scared that camera's going to blow over. Well, welcome back. Welcome to Mostyn. Not a great deal in it for me personally. I've never done particularly well at either venue, although both venues are known to fish quite well. But yeah, Mostyn is known for its flatfish. I wanted to try and get here late summer and fish for place. Didn't manage to do that. However, like I said earlier, it's still pretty warm. I mean, if it wasn't for this wind, which is screaming through here, so for the middle of October, I'm hoping there's still some knocking about. The sea is still about 5 degrees warmer than where it should be for October, so I'm hoping that there's still some flatties about. And with it being late summer, they should be very well fed. So I'm hoping for, similar to me, a right fat one. And like I say, rays as well. Now, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I'm still after a double figure ray. Mostyn could be the place to give me that. but if you look at them rod tips, this wind, whew, it's not comfortable fishing, put it that way. I think I'd rather sit in the rain with no wind than wind and no rain. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out from the camera, in the camera behind me, but over there, probably just over the rod tips from where you are, is Mostyn docks. Again, I've seen that, I've fished that before. I didn't fancy going around there, sitting in the wind and getting up to my nuts in mud. Next around, you've got the beach, the bay, whatever you want to refer to it as. And on the corner there, I fished there before. However, there is somebody already set up down there and fishing. So I thought I'd come a bit further along, a bit further towards the ship to this point. Now there's a little rocky outcrop here. These rocks are all sat on mud, they're all moving around as I'm stepping on them. But it means I'm not going to get up to my eyeballs in gloop. And it does, this point comes out and sort of squeezes this bit in. So I'm hoping this is still a nice deep channel, and any fish that's moving from this sort of bay area here out towards the point are all going to get funneled through here. Hopefully find my baits in the meantime. So I've got the right hand rod pulley pennel that I was using earlier. On there I've got blue in squid. I've slung that straight into this channel, and on this rod I've got one up one down with size 1 hooks, and on there I've just got straight blacks at the minute. And what I've done is I've chucked that straight in front of that rod. There's a little bay here behind me, and it looks like there's a bit of a runoff, possibly from the water station, and it's actually kind of like a little gully. So I've got that slung there, hoping that there's I'm going to refer to it as the trough. Hopefully that trough's holding some fish. Does that count as beating the blank? I mean, I have hooked it. Easy release too. Look at Dopal, you greedy little get. Go back and tell your mates to leave my bait alone. Go on. Get that. Alright, I've turned us round. I know what I said before about my trough, but frankly, staring into this wind was getting boring. So I've managed one cast, one crack off, and I've turned us round. So I'm now casting with the wind. Same story, I've got the pennel rig out into the channel, the 2 hook flapper, or 1 up 1 down, whatever you want to call it, there's still 2 hooks flapping around, isn't it? Is slightly closer in, but still I'd say probably 30 yards or so off the edge, and I don't know what sort of water in here, but I've hit that pennel rig probably 3/4 of the way to the other sandbank, and the line currently goes at almost a 45-degree angle, so I'd say we've got to be in 30 or 40 foot of water still in this little channel. But this is us now. We're set up, and we're set up again, and it looks like them lads are leaving. So there was a few lads set up down there fishing. Looks like they're leaving. It's now 4:15. I'm fairly certain. Let me pull up my tide times. Mostyn docks 1.8 miles away, low tide 5:46, so we've got another hour and a half till low water. So I'm surprised that they're leaving, unless they've had a really bad session or a really good session and they've had enough, I don't know. But yeah, we're probably here till, I'd say 7. If low water's 5:45, I think we'll probably get about an hour, similar to when we were fishing the Mersey earlier. We'll probably get an hour, got probably another 3 hours, maybe a little bit less, 2.5 hours of fishing. Need a new pair of waterproof over trousers, because for anybody who watched the last time I fished Mostyn, last cast I got snagged up, so I walked down to retrieve it, slipped on some rocks, smashed the rod. Well, this time I was extra careful, watched every place where I put my foot. These rocks, like I say, these are all on mud, they'll move around when you stand on them. The ones up there must be on tiny little shingle, because I stepped on some fairly big rocks that looked fairly stable, and the whole bank just went. So once again I ended up on my arse. Luckily this time I don't think I've done any damage to any of the gear. It's just these trousers, which in all honesty I think I've had these are only 10 quid over trousers, and I've probably had them 10 or 15 years, so they've not done me bad. I'm playing rugby tomorrow, first game of the season. I haven't played a game this season yet. I've missed the first 6 or so games, so I'm playing tomorrow, providing my knee's not swollen like a bloody football. Because I know some of you will be dying to know what I had for lunch, I was actually quite well behaved, or my bank account say so anyway. I called it Aldi and got myself a wrap from there. And whilst I was in there, I had a search around the middle of Aldi specials, picked up these mini poppadoms, mango chutney mini poppadoms. So today's crisp review, we haven't done one of these in a while, have we? Mini poppadoms. Let's have a go on these. Crunchy, just like poppadom should be. I'm getting the mango chutney, but I tell you what, oh, they got a kick to them as well. Oh, they're tickling the taste buds. But yeah, they're alright then. I've certainly had worse things in my mouth, put it that way. That is the end of that. As you can see, it is pitch black. It's just coming up to 7:15, and yeah, admittedly on the Mersey earlier on, that was a chilled out session, that was, and we had half a dozen whiting to show for it. I haven't quite fished it competition style yet, but I've probably sat down for about 5 minutes for the whole 5 hours I've been here. It's been tough going. Crabs were relentless. That wind was relentless as well, but the crabs, honestly, I was changing baits maximum of every 15 minutes. I've chucked squid at it, blacks at it, I'm left over carp, blueies, mussels. I'll give it everything, and not a sniff. Well, one decent rattle, I'd say, but other than that, yeah, crabs had at everything. So I just think Mostyn is not the venue for me. That's the feeling that I'm going for at the minute. I'll probably come back and try again though. No, I'm joking. I'll definitely go back and try again. I can't leave a venue like this having not caught a good stamp of fish. So I'll be back. As for where I'm fishing next, who knows? Like I say, I really want to get down to the south coast of Wales, but whether or not I'll be able to do that anytime soon, I'll see how much fuel's left in the van at the end of the month. Great to be out fishing again. Like I say, if you are struggling, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, whether it's your mate, whether it's your missus, whether you reach out to your doctors. Don't suffer alone. If you can, get yourself outside. It doesn't have to be a day's worth of fishing. It can be a walk around the block. It can be sitting in your back garden. Get some fresh air, because like I say, I've fallen into the habit of not doing so, and I have noticed the difference. And on that note, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves, look after each other, and until next time, tight lines.